is covered in detail in your embryology lecture. Okay, हिस्टोलॉजी में similar structure है, उसमें कुछ difference नहीं है. So we will not discuss placenta, and placenta is also never asked in the histology. It is a topic of embryology. और एम्ब्रियोलॉजी में भी आप जो पढ़ते हैं वो सारी हिस्टोलॉजी ही है, माइक्रोस्कोपिक स्ट्रक्चर ही है प्लेसेंटा के, वो सब प्राइमरी विलाय, सेकेंडरी विलाय पढ़ते हैं ना. All those are the microscopic structure of placenta. Okay, so no need to discuss placenta in histology. So today we will discuss about the mammary gland, that is an important topic, ovary and umbilical cord. Okay, so we will see mammary gland, ovary, cortex and medulla, and umbilical cord. Only common sort not asked is a mammary gland. Okay, only mammary gland is asked from the today's topic. Okay, maybe it is asked in a two heading. One is a inactive or resting mammary gland, and second is lactating mammary gland or active. Okay, so we will see mainly these two topics today. Okay, inactive or the resting mammary gland and lactating mammary gland. Something about the ovary, that is cortex and medulla, ovarian follicle. This is also topic of embryology, but we will discuss some histology today. Okay, only the important aspect of histology, not all aspects, only important aspects. So ovary is also commonly asked only for MCQ or objective, not for theory. Okay, and umbilical cord sometimes asked, sometimes, and also important for the MCQ and objective. Okay, so let's see the today's topic, that is a female reproductive system part 2. Okay, so first let's see the mammary gland. Okay, remember it is an important histological topic. Okay, histology में घणी बार पूछी है एनी शॉर्ट नोट આપણે. Okay, so gross anatomy તમને ખબર જ છે, it is a classical features of mammals. Okay, mammary gland is a classical feature of mammal, એટલે mammals કહે છે because they contain mammary gland. It is actually modified apocrine sweat gland. It is a modified apocrine sweat gland. Okay, present in the subcutaneous tissue, present in both sexes, both in male and female, but it is a rudimentary in male, not developed in male. In female, they are well developed after puberty. Okay. It is a soft rounded elevation present over the pectoral region. A soft rounded elevation present over the pectoral region. Now, just below the center, there is a dark area. Okay, ये आपको दिख रहा है. Just below the center of the mammary gland, there is a darkly pigmented area, darkly pigmented circular area, just below the center of the elevation. That is known as a areola. And in the middle of the areola, there is a projection, conical projection. That is known as a nipple. Okay. Overlying the central part of the areola, there is a projection called nipple. Okay. So these are the gross structure of the mammary gland. Okay. Let's see the microscopic structure of mammary gland. Let's see first the basic structure. Okay, let's see first the basic structure of mammary gland. Okay, so mammary gland basic structure is first, we know it. Okay, it covered by the skin first. It is the outer covering of the skin. That is your first structure of mammary gland. Okay, covered by the skin. Inside the skin, you can see these structures. This particular light pink or light brown structure. All these are okay. Small light pink or light brown structure. Okay, this is actually glands. These are the glands. Okay, this way we call it a mammary gland. So આપણે mammary gland કે any glands હશે બધી. Okay, so these are the several distinct masses of glandular tissue with ducts. ये आपको duct भी दिख रही है. All these are the several distinct masses of glandular tissue with ducts. So that is the main content of the mammary gland. Glandular tissue with ducts. See, this glandular tissue is separated by and also covered by. ये आपको yellow color दिख रहा है. Yellow color are fat. And also these are the whitish color, that is a connective tissue. Okay, abundant connective tissue. So it is separated and covered by large amount of connective tissue along with the adipose tissue. Okay, so this is the main structure of the mammary gland. ये दो चीजें होंगी mammary gland में. 2G. Okay, several discrete masses of glandular tissue with ducts and separated, and this glandular tissue covered by the large amount of connective tissue along with the adipose tissue. Okay. In addition to this, there are several septa, or we can say fibrous processes, which connect the underlying fascia with the overlying skin. Underlying fascia with the overlying skin. All these are the fibrous septa, or you can say the fibrous processes, which connect the underlying fascia with the overlying skin. So these septa are known as a, okay, किसी को पता है septa का नाम? This is already covered in your gross anatomy lecture of mammary gland. Do you know name of this septa connecting the fascia with the overlying skin? You can write in chat box. Anyone? Yes. Okay. Right. It is known as suspensory ligament of Cooper. Okay. Suspensory ligament of Cooper. Cooper is name of scientist who discovered it. Now, what is the clinical importance of this ligament? Suspensory ligament. Okay, these ligaments undergo contraction during carcinoma of the mammary gland, and which lead to pitting of the overlying skin. Okay, pitting of the overlying skin. जब भी carcinoma होगा, it undergo contraction. Okay, and it we can say due to contraction. Okay, it pull the skin inside. Pull the skin inside like this. Due to contraction of the receptor, the skin where the septa is attached is pulled inside, and which ultimately lead to pitting of the overlying skin. Okay, so that is a clinical importance of this suspensory ligament of Cooper. Now, mammary gland consists of two parts that we know. All organs or all other structure consist of two parts mainly. That is a कौन से दो पार्ट होते हैं बोलो? Any organ, any other structure contain two part mainly. Writing chat box में लिखो parenchyma and second is stroma. Right? Okay. Stroma and parenchyma. Okay. अब हम जनरल स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. जनरल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ऑल ऑर्गन्स, not only mammary gland, all organs. So mammary gland also consists of two parts. There is a parenchyma and stroma. Okay. So parenchyma हमें पता है, main part of mammary gland is a glands. So parenchyma, it consists of glandular tissue with ducts. Okay, parenchyma means glandular tissue with ducts, and consists of compound tubular-alveolar gland, and this part is also known as mammary gland proper mammary gland. Okay, it's a glandular tissue with ducts, consists of compound tubular-alveolar glands, and it is also known as mammary gland proper. Okay. Stroma contain mainly three types of tissue. One is a loose areolar tissue, second is a dense connective tissue, and third is a adipose tissue. This stroma is made up of three types of tissue: loose areolar, dense connective, and adipose tissue. Okay, so that is about the basic structure of mammary gland, parenchyma and stroma. Let's see parenchyma first. Okay, we know parenchyma is a glandular tissue with ducts. And glandular tissue are made up of compound tubulo-alveolar glands. Compound tubulo-alveolar glands. Compound means branching. Tubulo-alveolar means acinar are both tubular shape and alveolar shape. Okay, so it contains both tubular shape alveoli and tubular shape secretory endpiece and alveolar shape secretory endpiece. Okay, this what is known as compound tubulo-alveolar gland. Now these glands are arranged in the form of like this. This is a first आपको दिख रहा है, ये first part है, ऐसा होता है. This is second. Okay, around 15 to 20 ऐसे part होते हैं. Okay, so इसको बोलते हैं, आपको शेप दिख रहा है, अगर 3 dimensional में दिखेगा, these are the pyramidal shape. These are the pyramidal shape. So these glandular tissue are arranged in the form of 15 to 20 pyramidal shaped lobes. इसको बोलते हैं lobes. 15 to 20 pyramidal shaped lobes. Okay, you see, this lobe consists mainly two parts. One is a secretory endpiece. यहाँ पे है, this is secretory endpiece, and this is duct. Okay, mainly consists of two parts: secretory endpiece and duct. Okay, and see the all lobes converge towards the nipple, or we can say areola and nipple. All lobes converge towards they are arranged radially and converge towards the nipple. Okay, a duct of all lobes opens in the nipple, that we know opens in the nipple. So that is about the main part or arrangement of these glandular elements. 50 to 20 pyramidal shaped lobe arranged radially and converge towards the nipple. And within the lobe there are the smaller part, उसको हम बोलते हैं ऐसा smaller part होंगे in each lobe. Okay, smaller part उसको बोलेंगे हम lobules. So each lobe consists of number of lobules. Okay, now I think, am I audible? Okay, so each lobe consists of number of lobules. Okay, now these lobules again consist of smaller part, उसको बोलते हैं, उसका नाम ही है देखो alveolar है, तो smaller parts को क्या बोलेंगे alveoli. So each lobule consists of many alveoli. So this is a basic structure of the parenchyma, basic structure of parenchyma. Okay, so parenchyma is made up of compound tubulo-alveolar gland with ducts. All these tubulo-alveolar glands arranged in the form of 15 to 20 pyramidal shaped lobules. Okay, pyramidal shaped lobules are arranged, pyramidal shaped lobes. All lobes are arranged radially and converge towards the nipple. Okay, to opens on the nipple. And each lobes consist of number of lobules. Okay, and each lobule consists of many alveoli. Okay, so that is about the basic structure of parenchyma. You can see here in this slide. Okay, so black outline is a lobe. Okay, there are about 15 to 20 pyramidal shaped lobe. Okay, this blue color structure is lobule. Blue color is lobule. Sorry, this is lobe. Okay, 20. And blue color is lobule, and small this you can see the smaller part. That is a alveoli. So this is structure of parenchyma. Now let's see the stroma. Okay, let's see the stroma. Now you can see this stroma is connective tissue mostly. Stroma are mostly made of connective tissue. This stroma is present in between the lobe, and you can say between this lobe. This part is between the lobe. Here पर लिखा है. Okay. First is in between the lobes. This part between the lobules like this. Also in between the lobules. यहाँ पे भी है. यहाँ पे भी lobules. और surrounding the alveoli. यहाँ पे. Yeah. So we also divide the stroma into various parts. First part is each lobe is separated by interlobal connective tissue. जो आपको दिख रही है यहाँ पे. This part is separated by interlobal connective tissue, which also contain adipose tissue, fat or adipose tissue. Okay, also contain adipose tissue, interlobal connective tissue with adipose tissue, and it is always dense irregular connective tissue. Okay, this is dense irregular connective tissue. Second part is within the lobe, in between the lobules, that is known as a interlobular connective tissue. It also contains the fat, means with adipose tissue. Interlobular connective tissue also contains adipose tissue. Okay, and this is also dense connective tissue. Okay. This is also dense connective tissue. Last part surrounding the alveoli, that is known as a intralobular. Within the lobule. Intra means within. Alveoli are embedded in the intralobular connective tissue without fat. यहाँ पे fat नहीं होती है. Okay, alveoli are never covered by the fat. Without fat, यहाँ पे fat नहीं होगी. And this here there is a presence of, now remember यहाँ पे क्या है alveoli है. Alveoli. Okay, alveoli is surrounded by intralobular connective tissue. Now alveoli are expand mainly during the lactation. Okay, during the growth of the mammary gland. Alveoli expand mainly. It is filled with the milk. Alveoli filled with the milk, so it expands. To allow expansion of the alveoli, there must be loose connective tissue. Okay, so remember, alveoli is embedded always in the loose connective tissue, never dense. Okay, otherwise it cannot expand, okay, during lactation. So that is about 3 types of connective tissue present in the mammary gland. And always remember, alveoli is never covered by fat. यहाँ पे adipose tissue नहीं होगी. Adipose tissue is outside the lobule and outside the lobe, outside the lobule and outside the lobe. So that is about the stroma present in the mammary gland. Okay, same thing you can see in this picture very clearly. You can see this is one lobule. So see the inside the lobule, connective tissue inside the lobule. यहाँ पे देखो, lobule के अंदर की connective tissue देखो. Okay, connective tissue inside the lobule. Okay, so you can see here less amount of fiber, more amount of ground substance. So it is always loose areolar connective tissue. Okay, intralobular is always loose areolar connective tissue which allow expansion of the, or we can say expansion and growth of the alveoli. Expansion and growth of the alveoli mainly during pregnancy and lactation. Okay, and see the interlobular connective tissue, in between the lobule. Okay, उसमें दोनों है देखो. One is a dense connective tissue and second is a adipose tissue. Okay, so dense and adipose tissue. Okay, so that is about the stroma of the mammary gland. Same thing, lobule, inside the lobule there is a loose connective tissue. Outside there is a dense and adipose tissue. Okay, so that is about the stroma. Now lobule, what is structure of lobule? Lobule को अंदर आपको सब देख ही रही है. These are the all cross section दिख रहा है आपको. Yes, these all are cross section of the alveoli. Okay, so lobules contain the alveoli, or we can say secretory end piece. It is also known as secretory end piece, and lining, cell lining the alveoli, or we can say lining epithelium of the alveoli vary with the functional activity. It is mostly simple cuboidal, or sometimes columnar. In inactive phase, it is a columnar mostly. Otherwise, it is a cuboidal in an active phase, or maybe low cuboidal. Sometimes it may convert into low cuboidal when it's distended with the milk. Yeah, so that is about the lining epithelium of the alveoli. Just remember simple cuboidal or columnar epithelium. Okay, that is present in the alveoli. Second structure present in the lobule is a intralobular duct. And third is outside the lobule is the adipose tissue. So that is about the structure of lobule. Okay, we know the in this connective tissue is a loose. Inside the lobule there is a loose areolar connective tissue. Okay, so lobule में एक structure आपको रहेगा alveoli or secretory end piece, and which is lined by the simple cuboidal or columnar epithelium. And second structure आपको रहेगा intralobular duct. We will see the lining epithelium of all ducts. Okay, so parenchyma, same thing, secretory alveoli and end piece. Okay, now let's see the duct system of parenchyma. Okay, parenchyma. So first we know alveoli or secretory end piece. Okay, there is a main part of the gland, compound tubular alveolar gland. This alveoli and secretory end piece, they open into, you can see these are the smaller duct. Okay, these smaller ducts are known as terminal ductules. And this terminal duct is finally from this duct inside the lobule. उसको बोलते हैं intralobular duct. Okay, so secretory alveoli and end piece first opens into the terminal ductules, and this terminal ductule finally from the intralobular ducts. And you can see various intralobular ducts यहाँ पे unite होके दूसरी duct बनाते हैं. Okay, यहाँ पे इसकी union होता है from this duct present between the two lobule. So उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Interlobular duct. Okay, so intralobular duct unite to form the interlobular duct. This interlobular duct finally form the main duct of entire gland. You can say entire main duct of the entire lobe. You can say it is a lobar duct, and there is another name of lobar duct that is known as a lactiferous duct. Okay, remember lactiferous duct is actually lobar duct. We can say means main duct of each lobe. Okay, we know there are 15 to 20 pyramidal lobe. Okay, so lactiferous duct drain all that lobe, each lobe. Okay, so that is about the duct system of the parenchyma. Just remember, secretory alveoli or end piece first open into terminal ductules, terminal ductus finally unite to form the intralobular duct, lobule. Okay, this intralobular duct unite with each other and to form the interlobular duct, and interlobular finally form the lactiferous duct. Okay, this lactiferous duct finally opens on the nipple, okay. So same thing यहाँ पे. Okay, now you can see each lactiferous duct drains, each lobe, clear, each lobe drains into lactiferous duct that open at the summit of nipple. ये हमें पता है. Okay, each lobe drain into lactiferous duct which open on the summit of nipple. Now see near the nipple, just beneath the nipple, ये आप देखिए, there is a dilatation or we can say enlargement. Okay, this area. Okay, just beneath the nipple, there is a dilatation or enlargement. Beneath the nipple, lactiferous duct dilates. This dilatation or enlargement is known as a lactiferous sinus. It is known as lactiferous sinus, and this sinus it help in this lactiferous is act as a reservoir of milk. Okay, reservoir of milk, temporary storage of milk sometimes we can say. Okay, because ये कैसा होता है, देखो जब after we can say pregnancy means during lactation, when newborn baby suck the nipple. Okay, there is a activation of axis, एक axis activate होती है. Okay, due to stimulation of nipple, there is a release of hormone, mainly prolactin from the pituitary gland. Okay, this prolactin ultimately leads to formation of we can say milk in the each lobe of mammary gland, and then this milk finally come out through the lactiferous duct. But it takes time. Okay, ये reflex को execute करने में थोड़ा time लगता है, क्योंकि sucking of nipple से stimulus होता है, and finally there is a formation of milk, production of milk in the alveoli, and release of milk through the lactiferous duct. It takes time. Okay, तो इतना टाइम लगता है, तो ऐसा लगता है बेबी को समटाइम क्या होता है, बेबी कैन नॉट रिसीव द मिल्क इमीडिएटली, तुरंत मिल्क नहीं आता है. तो तुरंत मिल्क कहाँ से आएगा? फ्रॉम द lactiferous sinus. इट एक्ट एज अ रिजर्वर. थोड़ा मिल्क lactiferous sinus में होता है, थोड़ा मिल्क. When baby start sucking the nipple, okay, milk is immediately released from this sinus into baby's mouth. Okay, so that is the function of this lactiferous sinus. It acts as a reservoir of milk. Okay, so this is actually three-dimensional, just for understanding. Okay, इतने सारा नहीं होते, only 15 to 20 होते हैं. This is the arrangement of the glands, compound tubulo-alveolar gland, or lobe. We can say compound tubulo-alveolar gland, that is a lobe. Okay, each lobe. This is a three-dimensional arrangement. Okay, around 50 to 20 होते हैं, only 15 to 20. इतने ज़्यादा नहीं हो गए. Okay, ये सिर्फ आपको दिखाने के लिए बताया कि ऐसा अरेंजमेंट होता है. And these all lobes or all glands, okay, it is supported by the connective tissue stroma. Okay, that is a dense connective tissue outside and loose connective tissue surrounding the alveoli. Okay. Now let's see the same thing, lining epithelium of the alveoli and duct system, or we can say secretory unit and duct system. We know lining epithelium of the alveoli are the simple columnar or cuboid. Okay, simple cuboidal or columnar. The lining epithelium of alveoli. And this alveoli opens to these are the terminal ductules with the intralobular duct. And terminal ductules and interlobular ducts are lined by the simple cuboidal epithelium. Both terminal ductules and intralobular ducts are lined by the simple cuboidal epithelium. Okay, all these intralobular duct finally form the interlobular duct, and they the lactiferous duct. Both ducts are lined by, you can see here it becomes the multi-layer. Okay, so these both ducts are lined by the stratified columnar or cuboidal epithelium. So remember, alveoli are lined by the simple cuboidal or columnar. Terminal ducts with the intralobular ducts are lined by the simple cuboidal epithelium, and interlobular duct and lactiferous ducts are lined by the stratified columnar or cuboidal epithelium, which mostly 2 to 3 layers thick. Okay. Last, you can see near the opening. This is near the opening, just beneath the nipple. Near the opening, see the change in the epithelium. Okay. Here, near the opening, terminal part of lacteal duct, near the opening in the nipple, it is lined by the keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And myoepithelial cells are always present between the epithelium and basement membrane. Epithelium and basement membrane of both secretory unit and duct. Duct may be okay, remember. Myoepithelial cells are also present in ducts here, so which help in expulsion of the milk. Okay, which help in the expulsion of the milk. So that is about the lining epithelium of the secretory unit and duct system. Okay, same thing, alveoli and secretory anaphase lined by the simple columnar or simple cuboidal epithelium, intralobular duct, simple cuboidal, interlobular duct, stratified columnar or cuboidal. Okay, both interlobular and lactiferous duct. Okay, so ये आपको दिख रहा है, all these are the ducts. Okay? All these are the ducts within the lobule. This is a one lobule. ये आपको एक lobule दिख रहा है. This is another lobule. Okay, and these are the small ducts. ये resting है, inactive है, तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ आपको duct से दिखेंगे, proper alveoli नहीं दिखेंगे. You can see the adipose tissue भी यहाँ पे दिख रही है, सारी adipose tissue है. This is a dense connective tissue भी दिख रही है आपको, ये in between the lobule भी दिख रही है, just like a septa जैसा दिख रहा है. Yeah. Now same thing. दूसरा क्या होगा, ये तो होगा, ये glandular tissue होती है, consist of lobe and lobules. इंट्रालोब्यूलर होती है, that is a loose connective tissue. इंटरलोब्यूलर that is a dense irregular connective tissue. इनके अलावा क्या होता है, there is always presence of breast progenitor cells, mostly in terminal lobules. Okay, in terminal tissue lined by the breast progenitor cells is just like a stem cells, which can differentiate into either glandular epithelial cells or myoepithelial cells. Clear? So that is also presence of breast progenitor cells, which are stem cells, which can differentiate into the glandular epithelial cells and myoepithelial cells. Now let's see the various stages of mammary gland. ये तो common structure है. अब आपको क्या याद रखना है कि कौन से stage में कैसा दिखता है. Okay. So what are the difference in various stages of mammary gland? The first stage is a immature mammary gland. that is before puberty. Puberty के पहले mammary gland is immature. Then inactive or resting mammary gland of adult female in non-pregnant state. Before pregnancy. Okay, from puberty to pregnancy. You can say from puberty to onset of pregnancy. That is known as inactive or resting gland. Then active gland during pregnancy and at the time of lactation. Okay, gland become active. There is a marked morphological and functional development of mammary gland during pregnancy and lactation. And last is regressing after cessation of lactation. Okay, regressing. Purpose regress. Okay, it is converted into inactive or resting mammary. So we will see difference mainly between the inactive and resting. First and second is active. आपको ये दो ही याद रखना है. Inactive और resting, active mammary gland. ये दो ही पूछते एग्जाम में भी, यही दो शॉर्ट नोट आती है, inactive और resting mammary gland और active और lactating mammary. Okay. So first let's see the immature or prepubertal mammary gland structure. Okay. तो इसमें तो immature है, उसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं, तो उसमें तो मोस्टली कनेक्टिव टिश्यू होगी डक्ट. ओके, मेमोरी ग्लैंड में जो ग्लैंडुलर पार्ट होता है देयर इज वेरी लेस. सो मोस्टली स्ट्रोमा होता है. इट कंसिस्ट मोस्टली ऑफ स्ट्रोमा व्हिच कंसिस्ट ऑफ डेंस कनेक्टिव टिश्यू मेनली विद सम adipose tissue, very few adipose tissue. Okay, only ducts, rudimentary and consist of entirely ducts, no alveoli, only ducts, and these are also rudimentary, very small. Okay, indistinguishable visible from the male breast. तो मेल ब्रेस्ट का सेक्शन हम लेंगे तो दोनों सेम ही दिखेंगे. क्लियर? सो दैट इज अबाउट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ इमेच्योर और प्रीप्यूबिटल मेमोरी ग्लैंड. जस्ट रिमेंबर मोस्टली स्ट्रोमा होता है, दैट इज मेनली डेंस कनेक्टिव टिश्यू मिक्स विद द सम एडिपोस टिश्यू. Glandular tissue is rudimentary and mainly contain ducts, only ducts, and it is indistinguishable from the male breast. So that is about the structure of the immature mammary gland. You can see. Okay, you can see this is a immature mammary gland. जो भी आपको smaller dark area दिख रहा है, all these are the cluster of ducts, small ducts. No alveoli. क्योंकि ये alveoli नहीं है, only ducts. Just surrounded by the mainly by dense. So that is an immature mammary gland. Okay. Second is inactive or resting mammary gland. क्या होगा अब ये पीरियड से स्टार्ट होगा मेनली, इट इज इट इज प्रेजेंट ओनली इन फीमेल स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम प्यूबर्टी। तो प्यूबर्टी से ऑनसेट ऑफ फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी, ऑनसेट ऑफ फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी तक ये स्टेज है इनएक्टिव और रेस्टिव मेमोरी। तो उसमें क्या होता है, जो प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ डक्ट सिस्टम, ये जो डक्ट होती है उसका प्रोलिफरेशन होता है बिटवीन प्यूबर्टी टू फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी, प्यूबर्टी टू फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी। और क्या होता है, there is a formation of solid mass of polyhedral cells at the end of each duct. Okay, solid mass of polyhedral cells at the end of each duct, but proper alveoli are very few or absent. Okay, तो ऐसे मास बन जाएगा सॉलिड मास ऑफ पॉलीहेड्रल सेल्स, इसमें सारे पॉलीहेड्रल सेल्स मास, बट प्रॉपर एल्वेओलाई आर फ्यू और एब्सेंट, मींस यहाँ पे ल्यूमेन नहीं होगा, ऐसी एल्वेओलाई नहीं बनेगी लाइक दिस। हम एल्वेओलाई ऐसे बनाते हैं ना, दिस इज स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एल्वेओलाई। ओके, ऐसा नहीं होता है। ओके, सो ल्यूमेन नहीं होता है, सो प्रॉपर एल्वेओलाई आर वेरी फ्यू और एब्सेंट। ओके, सो दैट इज अ structure of resting mammary gland. But remember, still there is a more amount of stroma, still there is a more amount of connective tissue and fat and less glandular tissue that are widely separate. So आपको ये याद रखना है mainly first feature. First identifying feature of inactive or resting mammary gland is more connective tissue stroma and adipose tissue as compared to glandular tissue and less glandular tissue. Okay, and within the glandular tissue is also mainly made up of duct and immature alveoli, we can say, not proper alveoli. Proper alveoli are few or absent. Here, so there is a, we can say, structure of the inactive or resting mammary gland. Okay, here you can see same thing. Stroma is more stroma with adipose tissue and less glandular tissue. Okay, more stroma and less glandular tissue. And glandular tissue proper alveolar fluor absent. Okay, you can see ducts भी आपको दिखेगी. So this is a main feature of the inactive or resting mammary gland. Okay, now उसमें क्या होता है, lining this these are mostly polar and lumen is small or absent. Okay, lumen in the alveoli are very small or absent. Stroma is mostly loose and dense irregular connective tissue. Loose and dead. Okay, stroma is more and it's mainly contain loose and dense irregular connective tissue, also adipose tissue. So this is the identifying feature of the inactive or resting mammary gland. Just remember, alveoli are not proper lined by the cuboidal cells. Lumen is either very small or absent. Okay, यहाँ पे दिख ही रहा है only few, आपको कभी-कभी few alveoli में आपको lumen दिखता है, some few, otherwise it is very small or absent. तो इसमें यहाँ पे very small है, यहाँ पे absent है. Clear? So that is about the structure of resting mammary gland. Now, what happened during the pregnancy? Pregnancy में क्या होगा? There is a further proliferation of duct. Okay, parenchyma all means क्या होता है? From pregnancy to lactation, there is an increase in amount of parenchyma by proliferation of duct and by formation of proper alveoli. So there is a marked proliferation and branching of the duct. That is the first feature of the first thing occurred during the pregnancy. Marked proliferation and branching of duct. Now, solid masses हमें पता है कि at the end of each duct there is a solid mass. Now this is converted in proper alveoli during pregnancy. Now proper alveoli like this. Okay, it is converted into proper alveoli. सिर्फ मास था, यहाँ पे proper alveoli बन गई. और क्या होता है? Now each lobe is compound tubular alveolar gland. Okay, अब यहाँ पे compound tubular gland बनेगी, जो हमने पहले पढ़ा स्टार्टिंग में, और ये स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द लोब अब यहाँ पे बनता है. ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ lobe. Okay, actual lobe, we can say proper lobe. Okay. Then ducts and alveoli are surrounded by the hyocellular peridicular connective tissue. That is a loose connective tissue. Okay. Loose connective tissue also increase in amount around the alveoli. Loose connective tissue also increase in amount around the alveoli. So these are the main features of mammary gland during the pregnancy. There is a marked proliferation and the branching of ducts. Okay, now these solid masses of polyhedral cells at the end of each duct converted into proper alveoli. Okay, there is a appearance of lumen. इसमें lumen आ जाएगा and there is a formation of proper alveoli. Now each lobe is known as a compound tubular alveolar gland, and duct and alveoli are surrounded by the hyocellular loose areolar connective tissue. Okay, so this happens during pregnancy. Now at the end of pregnancy, the cells of alveoli start secreting milk. Remember, milk secretion start हो जाता है and become distended. Alveoli become distended. There is a reduction in amount of connective tissue stroma. Reduction in amount of connective tissue stroma. Clear? And all this happen under the influence of estrogen and progesterone. Clear? So that is about the during pregnancy. अब देखते हैं what happened during the lactation. Lactation के टाइम पे यहाँ पे दिख रहा है देखो. These all are the well-formed alveoli. Okay? सारी alveoli में आपको lumen दिख रहा है. Well-formed alveoli. Lined by the simple cuboidal or columnar epithelium. Simple cuboidal or columnar epithelium. So black arrow है that is a epithelial cells lining the alveoli. Black arrow. This is simple columnar or cuboidal. Okay. Yellow arrow that is a myoepithelial cells. Yellow is myoepithelial cells, and blue is that is a connective tissue, or we can say basement membrane. It is a basement membrane covering the alveoli. Okay, blue is a basement membrane. Black is a alveolar cells. That is a simple columnar cuboidal. Yellow is a myoepithelial cells. Yes, blue is a basement membrane. You can see the myoepithelial cells is present between the cells and basement membrane. Cells and basement. Okay. Now, what happened during the lactation? Lactation में क्या होता है? Lactation में there is a further proliferation of ducts and gland. Okay, और ज़्यादा proliferation होगा of ducts and gland. अब lactation में पता है यहाँ पे milk secretion regular होता है, तो alveoli are distended and filled with the milk. Okay, alveoli are distended and filled with the milk, and secretory cells become now low cuboidal. Why low cuboidal? Because of distended alveoli. Okay. Alveoli are distended. Alveoli में उसके अंदर milk है. The milk is collected inside the secretory adapice, which compress the cells. So secretory cells become the low cuboid. Okay. Now you can see here, see the arrow mark. Arrow mark देखो white color का आपको spot दिखा रहा है. Small pixels of white color. Okay. Both in the alveoli and in the cell also. Within the cell and within the alveoli. Okay. Alveoli के अंदर भी दिखेंगे आपको, duct में भी दिखेगा. Or within the cell के अंदर भी दिखेगा. All these are the white is a white because we know milk contains both protein and lipid. Milk contains both protein and lipid cannot stand. These are the lipid vacuoles of milk. Okay, so milk contains substantial lipid, appears an empty vacuole both within the acinar cells and lumen of the gland and ducts. Okay, empty vacuoles both within the acinar cell and lumen of the glands and. So this is the one identifying feature of the lactating mammary gland. So you can write the lipid vacuoles are seen both within the acinar cells and the lumen of glands and duct. Clear? So first identifying feature of lactating mammary gland. So this is a one important feature. This is a one important feature of lactating mammary gland. Okay, lipid in the milk appear as an empty vacuole. Okay, so you can see the mostly mammary gland is full of alveoli, full of the alveoli. Okay, this is a large view. You see the alveoli also filled with the distended with the milk, and cells are the low cuboidal because cells are the compressed from the low cuboidal. Okay, so what is the identifying feature of this lactating mammary gland? The first is a more amount of parenchyma, more parenchyma. Okay, more parenchyma and less stroma, less stroma. This is the first identifying feature of the lactating mammary gland. More parenchyma, less stroma. Now parenchyma contain proper alveoli, and you can write the lipid vacuoles are also seen within the parenchyma, or within the acinar cell, or within the lumen of alveoli and duct. Okay, so these are the identifying feature of the lactating mammary. More parenchyma, less stroma. Parenchyma contain the alveoli distended with the milk, or lipid vacuoles are also seen within the cells or inside the lumen. Okay, so that is about the this is identification lactating mammary gland. Okay, same thing you can say resting mammary gland only duct system, only duct. During pregnancy there is a branching of duct, or you can say pre-pregnancy, not pre-pregnancy. You can see the cluster of, you can see here solid masses are formed at the each duct, but there is no proper alveoli. There is no proper alveoli, and during pregnancy and lactation, all these solid masses are converted into alveoli. Clear? So that is about the various phase. Okay. Now that's the structure of nipple and areola. Okay. So clear? आपको difference पता चल गया? What is the difference between the resting mammary gland and active or lactating mammary gland? Just remember the resting mammary gland and there is trauma, less parenchyma, proper alveoli are absent. Okay, alveoli are only in the form of the masses in the end of the each ducts. And during the lactation, or we can say active mammary gland, there is a more parenchyma, very less trauma, contain proper alveoli, filled with the meal or distributed with the lipid vacuum inside the acinar cell or the lumen of the acinar or ducts. Now, let's see the structure of nipple and areola. It is a conical projection below the center of the mammary gland, pierced by the lactiferous duct. आपको पता ही है. Okay. The structure में क्या है? It is covered by keratinized stratified scar epithelium. Nipple is covered by a true skin. It is covered by a true skin. It is a keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and inside the nipple there is a presence of dense connective tissue and smooth muscles arranged circularly and longitudinally. Okay. You can see this is a smooth muscle, circular. ये सर्कुलर होगा इसलिए आपको यहाँ क्रॉस सेक्शन दिखता है. ओके, बाकी का ये जो एरिया इट्स एलएस एंड लॉन्जिट्यूडिनल. ओके, एरियोला डिवोइड ऑफ हेयर फॉलिकल. एरियोला की बात करें आप अभी. The dermis contains circular smooth muscle on contraction cause the erection of nipple. Also contains sebaceous and sweat gland. Apocrine sweat gland. Sebaceous gland and sweat gland. At the periphery of the areola, there is a presence of large sebaceous gland which produce surface elevation. Here's periphery. Large sebaceous gland which produce surface elevation like this. So these are known as a tubercle of Montgomery. Tubercle of Montgomery. Okay, Montgomery is the name of scientist. Remember, Montgomery is the name of scientist who discovered this. Clear? Tubercle of Montgomery. So you can see all the tubercle. Just remember, it is only enlarged sebaceous gland, large sebaceous gland in the areola. Okay. So same thing you can see keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. You can see dense irregular connective tissue with smooth muscle. Okay, smooth muscle are mostly arranged circularly. It produce erection. And this is a lactiferous sinus. Okay, you can see the lactiferous sinus in the nipple. Nipple नजदीकी होगा. So there is a presence of lactiferous sinus. It's all by stratified cuboid or stratified columnar epithelium supported by dense irregular connective tissue. So that is structure of the. Now last part of memory is classified. One condition is adenoma is a benign tumor. आपको दिखा है. Okay, it is a benign tumor, not malignant. It is a benign tumor of fibrous and epithelial. नाम में ही है fibro plus adenoma. Okay? Fibro means fibrous. Fibro means fibrous glandular tissue. Most common benign tumor of the female breast. Okay, most common. Can occur at any age during the reproductive life. Most common between 15 to 30 years. Most common between 15 to 30 years. How to diagnose? Remember, it is marginally smooth and it is a mobile, solitary, discrete, and freely mobile nodule. Okay, so it is a mobile. Okay, it is smooth margin, solitary hoga, discrete hoga. It is freely mobile. Okay, you can move this nodule, fibroadenoma. This is to differentiate from the carcinoma. It is a freely mobile. It is about fibroadenoma. Second is a carcinoma of the breast. It is one of the commonest cancer throughout the world, particularly high in developed countries में ज़्यादा होते हैं. Highest in perimenopausal age. Perimenopausal age में ज़्यादा होता है. Around 45 years you can say. Uncommon before 25 years. तो उसमें क्या होता है? It is solitary, painless होता है. Without pain. Palpable fixed lump. Remember, fixed lump होता है. You cannot move it. Okay, and very often it is detected by self-examination. It is often detected by only self-examination. Okay? So it is a painless. Okay, ये painless है, palpable तो होता है लेकिन fixed होता है. It is not movable. You cannot move it. Okay, so if this lump is not movable, and it is always, mostly it is a carcinoma, cancer. Okay? Cancer. It is a painless, so many women avoid it. ये पेन नहीं होता है इसलिए काफी वुमन इसको अवॉइड करते हैं. जब एक्सटेंसिव हो जाता है उसके बाद वो डॉक्टर के पास आते हैं और वो स्टेजेस मीन्स पेशेंट अपीयर लेट टू द डॉक्टर. ओके, बाद में दिखाते हैं इसलिए ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम होता है. ओके, सो रिमेंबर दिस, इफ lump is a fixed, it is not movable, or any lump, you can say any lump in the breast, it is always advised to consult the doctor. Okay, ब्रेस्ट में मेमोरी ग्लैंड में ऐसा भी लंप होता है, वेदर इट इज मूवेबल और फिक्स्ड, आपको उसको डॉक्टर को कंसल्ट करवाना ही चाहिए. ओके, बिकॉज अर्ली डायग्नोस हो जाता है तो अर्ली ट्रीटमेंट में यू कैन सेव द पेशेंट. अदरवाइज पेशेंट जब लेट प्रेजेंट करते हैं डॉक्टर के पास तो कार्सिनोमा ऑलरेडी स्प्रेड हो चुका होता है एंड इट बिकम इनऑपरेबल. ओके, सो दैट इज अ मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग. And this is a most important feature to differentiate benign and malignant tumor of breast. Okay? In benign, just simple, the fibroadenoma is movable and carcinoma is fixed. Higher the age, more chances to convert into a malignant tumor. Thus, all the breast lump, irrespective of age, must be removed surgically. इसलिए उसको surgically remove करना चाहिए. Okay? और जैसे भी एज बढ़ेगी, benign में convert into carcinoma. About the clinical aspect of the. Now, last दो पार्ट है ovary and umbilical cord. We will proceed fast. We will discuss only important part. ये तो आपको पता ही है. We will not discuss the gross part. Function भी आपको पता है. Formation of female gamete, ovulation, synthesis of hormone like estrogen and progesterone, and responsible for development of the secondary sex characters. Okay, covering of ovary from outside to inside. So outer covering में one layer होता है made up of cuboidal cells, single layer of cuboidal cells. Okay, free surface is covered by single layer of, or we can say simple cuboidal epithelium. This is known as germinal epithelium of ovary. हमने starting में पढ़ा था in example of or location of simple cuboidal epithelium, germinal epithelium of ovary. Here it is continuous with the mesothelium of peritoneum, continuous with the mesothelium of peritoneum, and remember it is a modification of mesothelium. It is actually modified mesothelium covering the ovary, modified mesothelium. But why it is known as germinal epithelium? Okay, germinal epithelium क्यों बोलते हैं? They produce germ cells. Write in chat box में लिखो, is this epithelium produce germ cell? Yes or no? germ cells यहाँ से आते हैं, germinal epithelium से आते हैं. Ovum, oocytes, you can say. Gametes are derived from dorsal wall of yolk sac से आता है. आपको पता तो है एम्ब्रियोलॉजी में. Gametes are developed in dorsal wall of yolk sac. Remember, germinal epithelium never produce germ cells. So this term is a misnomer. It is a misnomer. Protector नाम आप क्या बोले? Protector नाम आप क्या use है? They do not contain germ cells. Remember this. Okay. So it is a misnomer. They never produce germ cells or they never contain germ cells. Germ cells are produced by dorsal wall of yolk sac. Dorsal wall of yolk sac. Okay. Under the epithelium, there is a layer of dense connective tissue that is known as tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea. Okay. Just like a testis. Testis में भी होता है ये tunica albuginea. It gives the white appearance and it is a thinner than testis. Okay. Tunica albuginea of testis is very thick. So remember, just beneath the epithelium, there is a dense connective tissue known as tunica albuginea. Okay, so you can say here outer layer of germinal epithelium, inside it there is a tunica albuginea. यहाँ पे आप clearly दिख रहा है germinal epithelium के अंदर ये connective tissue दिख रही है ना यहाँ पे. So that is a we can say tunica albuginea. Same thing in microscopic appearance. This is a germinal epithelium and this is tunica albuginea. Okay. When we take the cross section of ovary, it is made up of outer cortex and inner medulla. Okay, cortex में क्या होगा? One is a stroma made up of reticulofibers and numerous fusiform cells resemble the mesenchymal cells. Resemble the mesenchymal cell. and ovarian follicles at the various stage of development containing developing ova. Okay. So this is present in cortex. Cortex में दो होगा, दो स्ट्रक्चर होंगे, स्ट्रोमा प्लस ओवेरियन फॉलिकल, स्ट्रोमा प्लस ओवर. Stroma here mainly contain the reticulofibers that are there and numerous fusiform cells, just like a mesenchyme, plus ovarian follicles in the various stages of development. Okay. Stromal cell आपको पता है surrounding the ovarian follicle from the follicular cells, corona radiata, fibulus oopharias, granulosa cells, theta interna and theta externa. ये आपको सब पता ही है, embryology में आ चुका है. Then medulla में क्या होता है? Inner medulla, it consists of loose connective tissue with numerous blood vessels, mainly veins होते हैं, mostly veins. Also contain elastic fibers and smooth muscle. Elastic fibers and smooth muscle. दूसरा क्या होता है? It is continuous with the hilum, the site of entry of blood vessels and lymphatic. Also contain remnants of mesonephric ducts. Also contain remnants of mesonephric duct. Also contain hilus cells near the hilum. Also contain the hilus cells in the hilum, similar to interstitial cells of Leydig of testis. Okay, also known as ovarian Leydig cells, and which sit with the ovarian androgens. ये याद रखना, ये एमसीक्यू में पूछते हैं, मेनली नेट पीजी में ये पूछा है. ओके, हाइलम, ओवरी का जो हाइलम होता है उसमें हाइलस होता है, हाइलस सेल, that is similar to the interstitial cells of Leydig of testis, also known as ovarian Leydig cells, which secrete ovarian androgens. Ovarian androgens. Okay, these are the ovarian follicles in the various stage of development. Okay, we will not discuss details of these follicles because it is already covered in embryology lecture. Primary follicle, primary, secondary, tertiary, and Graafian follicle, mature Graafian follicle. Okay, this is a Graafian follicle. You know the structure of Graafian follicle. Okay, there is a oocyte here, covered by the corona radiata, cumulus oopericus. Here discuss proligerus. Then here there is a cavity, follicular cavity, membrana granulosa. Here zona pellucida, here यहाँ होगा theta interna and theta externa. So you can see the ovarian follicle in various stages of development under the cortex, in the cortex. Last part is a umbilical cord. उसमें भी ज़्यादा डिटेल नहीं है. We know umbilical cord में क्या होता है? 2 umbilical artery and 1 umbilical vein. Okay, 2 umbilical artery and only 1 umbilical vein. We know left vein left behind, एक ही vein, one right vein is disappear, left vein is right umbilical vein is disappear. Okay, structure of artery and vein same होगा जो हमने blood vessel में पढ़ा था. Okay, tunica intima, tunica media and tunica externa, same structure here. Okay. And these blood vessels are supported by mucoid connective tissue. Mucoid connective tissue, we know structure, it just contains spindle-shaped cell, there is a mesenchymal cell with the cytoplasmic processes, and contain abundant jelly-like ground substance which is rich in hyaluronic acid. What is the name of this ground substance? किसको पता है? This abundant jelly-like ground substance rich in hyaluronic acid, इसका नाम क्या है? Anyone? We have discussed this during the lecture of connective tissue. Yes, okay, teacher, known as Wharton's jelly. It is known as a Wharton's jelly. Yes, remember Wharton's jelly is a connective mucoid connective tissue. Mucoid connective tissue present in umbilical cord. Also contain thin collagen fibers and star-shaped fibroblast. Star-shaped fibroblast. Okay, so that is about the mucoid connective tissue. Okay, you can see the spindle-shaped cells with the various cytoplasmic processes and Wharton's gel. Okay, here you can see the collagen fibers, mesenchymal cell, here the mesenchymal cells, starch, spindle-shaped cell, and all these ground substance is a Wharton's gel. All this ground substance is a Wharton's gel. Okay, so that is about structure of the umbilical cord. Okay, so that is all about today's topic. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Just remember the difference between the lactating and the resting mammary gland, and some important aspect of the ovary and umbilical cord. Umbilical cord में Wharton's cell आपको याद रखना है, and ovary में हाइलस सेल ovary, वो कभी-कभी पूछते हैं एग्जाम में. Clear? So any query? किसी को कोई query है? Do you have any query? Then you can write your roll number in chat box. Okay.